I also should have known to not mess with him when he told me he couldn't fucking swim. You 6 damn near 4, and you mean to tell me that your big ass can't swim? You are not to be trusted.
It's Tiana Will, and you're listening to the Tea Talks.
What's popping? You are now tuned into the Tea Talks, aka Talks with T. You know me. It's your girl Tiana Will, and we are back with another video. Or episode. I act like I'm on YouTube. I am on YouTube, but I'm not posting like a vlog or whatever. But anywho, if you are a new listener, welcome. As always, this podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can also watch the visuals and the full episode on YouTube at the The'TtalksPod. This is a space for real conversations, honest advice, laughs, and a little bit of I said what I said energy. There are no topics that are off limits, so let's get into it. All right. So, of course, what's new with me, what happened the past week. First and foremost, happy Black History Month to my peoples. I love y'all. Black history is American history. Don't ever forget it. So yeah, I'm very much on my Black and I'm proud vibe right now. Always will be, always have been. So shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are, okay? No, I'm just kidding. And also, shout out to the ones who support us and stand by us through any and everything that we go through these days and have always gone through since the days that we got here. Yeah, I said what I said. Anyway, so, it's the first week off the Daniel fast and like first full week off. And I done had me some eggs, y'all. Chef's kiss. I was so happy. I had some boiled eggs. I had me some fried eggs. I haven't had any scrambled eggs yet, but it was amazing. It was wonderful. I was so happy. I can't believe how much I love eggs. And then I made some salmon, which was really good, except my husband rated it an 8.5 out of 10 because he felt like he couldn't taste the honey. So I'm beating myself up over that. But overall, he was happy that his chef is back and I am back. And then today I made some chicken tortilla soup. I didn't get a rating yet, but I will make sure that I get my rating for that soup. And yes, I'm actually just so happy to be back in the kitchen making more food because it's pretty limited when you're on the Daniel fast. It's pretty much similar to like eating vegan. I would just say it's like a vegan diet. It's called, to make it real simple. But yeah, now I'm kind of just focusing on doing like the anti-inflammatory fast, or it's not a fast, but the diet, which is very similar, except you eat whatever meats that you want. So that's still your protein. Whereas like the Daniel fast, you're not eating any meats. So there was that. And then I'm also like, it's definitely not the first of the month. But normally I try to get prepared for the beginning of a month around the first, kind of like the end of the previous month. I don't know what happened. I just did all of that today. So I have 7 goals for this month and I look forward to completing most of them, if not all of them. Last month, I think I missed 2 of my goals. I can't remember how many I actually had, but I did miss 2 for sure. But this month I have 7. So I will definitely be working on those, even though I have like a shorter month. I mean, only by a couple of days, but less days means, you gotta work a little harder, in my opinion. And then what else? I finished the book I was reading called The Nightingale, and I will do my review on the book next month because I'm just going to give space for my people right now. But next month I'm gonna do a review. And long story short, I just want to say that I was bawling my eyeballs out for the last 200 pages of that book, and I've never cried so hard for a book since The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And these books are both similar as far as like historical times, so that should kind of let you know what I'm talking about. If you know what that book is, if not, I'll just kind of tell you. I'm talking about the Holocaust, but I don't want to talk about the Holocaust today. So we'll talk about that another time. Anywho, today's topic is, I'm just talking about past relationships, and what they have taught me about loving myself. So we are going to get straight into it. And today is going to be like a timeline of all of my relationships, serious relationships. I ain't talking about no flings or nothing like that. But my serious relationships and like just the lessons I learned during those relationships. Um, I'm definitely gonna be giving y'all some story times in between all of this. But what made me want to talk about this is because, like, one, it's the month where we have Valentine's Day, and there will also be an episode later this month that will feature me. I have a guest, my husband. So it'll be me and my husband, and I kind of just want to like go into the month of these episodes kind of just talking about my past relationships to kind of give you guys like perspective of my dating history, and so you can see kind of how I got to where I am today, as Mrs. Wright, a wife. You know what I'm saying? I be that wifey, haters trying to fight me. No, I'm just playing. But on a serious tip, um one reason also to why I wanted to talk about this is because me and my mom, we have this journal, and I think the journal is really for like a mom with a teenage daughter, or like a young, yeah, definitely like a younger daughter, but I would say in her early teens. And I got it from Barnes and Noble, and I think like 2018. It had to be like 2017, 2018, because there's times where my mom writes me and she's just like, I can't wait for you to come back. So, anywho, but this journal we've had for quite some time now. I guess we're going on 8 years. That's crazy. And so you kind of just pass the journal back and forth to each other. And our topic recently was about our first crushes and dating in general. So I was like talking about my first crush, and then I was like, oh, let's go through my dating history. And I was like, you know what? I want to give the girls the information, the tea, like what I went through to get to where I am. So I'm going to go through a timeline of all of like from my crush to my boyfriends to just a couple of things. And that's where we're at today. Okay. So this episode might be a little unhinged. So just, sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's get into it, right? So my first crush was in third grade. His name was Jackson Morello. And I realized that I don't know if I should be saying this man's name because I have never seen this man again since third grade, third or fourth grade. So I ain't never kept up with him ever since after that. But anywho, I knew I was his girlfriend. And I remember how crazy I was about him. And y'all are going to think I am so unhinged. And I was just a little thirsty little thing. And I remember one time we were in the playground in like the grass area. So we weren't on the playground, like we were in the field. Um, and I went to Elizondo, but I feel like most elementary schools in Vegas, like you have your playground and you have like that big, huge field grass area. So we were all the way in the grass area. And I remember he had found a ladybug in the grass. And so all the girls liked him. So like we would be circled around him like, ooh, Jackson, like, ooh, or whatever, right? And so he was like, whoever eats this ladybug could be my girlfriend. Now, I'm not saying that I ate the ladybug, but I am saying that I was his girlfriend. I was his girlfriend for sure. Uh, so so that lets you know. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You think what you want. You feel me? So anywho, so boom, we was together or whatever. And then this girl came to our school, and this girl, like, she was so bossy. She had so much attitude, and she was like, I remember I invited her to my sleepover, and then I don't know what was going on. I just remember that she made me go outside and stand outside by myself at my own sleepover. Like, this little girl was evil, and yeah, no, wasn't a fan. But the one thing is she called our house phones. You got to remember, like, back in the day we didn't have no cell phones. I wasn't old enough to really be on the internet as far as like AOL or anything like that. So she calls our house phone. She gets the answering machine. She gonna say, "Hi Tiana, this is so and so. I was just calling to let you know that Jackson is my boyfriend now." Click. First of all, what are you doing calling my house phone? Second of all, n- how dare you steal my man and call me and tell me? I mean, granted, respectfully, I respect the honesty. But you gonna call? We're in third grade. You already call? Hey, Shirley. Like, they was third grade. I was experiencing the I want your man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I learned very quickly that these hoes always want what you got, but they can't have. Anywho, so that was Jackson. Like I said, I've never seen this man again. Obviously I said his full name, so you know, if you out there, don't come find me. I'm married. I do not like you now. I don't give a fuck about what you got going on in your life. But I do hope that you're healthy and safe. I will say that. And hopefully he's alive. Oh my gosh, I'm just saying crazy things. You know what? We gonna move on because yeah, we just gonna move on. Anywho, so my next boyfriend was in middle school, and I just want to say that I have no idea why I like this man at all. Like, at all. I'm still wondering till this day why I like this man, because it's very questionable. It is very questionable. I don't know if I had low self-esteem. I have no idea. But he liked me too, and when I tell you he has I ain't gonna say so many, but for sure there are 3 girls who wanted to fight me over this man. And I mind you, like, I then in middle school was not a fighter. Like, I was on the cheer team. I was in honors classes. Like, fighting and all that nonsense was below me. Like, beneath me, to be honest. Like, I didn't grow up anywhere where I seen anything like that, to be honest. Like, if I'm being completely honest without making it seem like, oh, I'm better than, I wasn't that type of person, because that's just not how like my mom acted or my family. Granted, no, like even like other like my friends who I hung out with, like everyone was just a well mannered, I guess. I have no idea. But like I wasn't with the like the hoorah kind of vibes at that time, you know? So they would be trying to like press me, And I'd be like, no, like, I don't want to fight. Like, you could, it wasn't that I was scary. I was just like, no, for what? Like, they ain't that serious. Y'all can have them. But anywho, the one thing is about that is that person is I'm just so mad that I lost my virginity to him. Like, why? I don't know. And when I tell y'all the story of how it all happened, um, this is honest. This is an honest place. This is a safe space for me. So I um I don't think my parents are gonna. I don't even know. They're not listening. I know they're not. Anywho, so I snuck him into my parents' house. Whew. I don't even know if that might be the first time I'm confessing and telling the truth. But I snuck him in, and I remember being like, okay, like, let's get to it. And I like laid down and like he was respectful, like whatever. Boom. And then we started and I like it just didn't feel good. Like it just more so just didn't feel good. Like it hurt, but also I want to say like I would have to say that I probably was dry. Like nothing about it. I wasn't turned on. Like now that I know who I am, yeah, he wasn't getting the coochie wet. You feel me? So I just remember being like, "Are you done?" And he was like, "Do you want me to be done?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it ain't even been that long. Like it might have been like 2 minutes. And then he was like, "Oh, okay, like I'll be done." And he just like, stopped, got up. And it's just crazy because now that I know what I'm doing or whatever, I just know that poor man did not get his rocks off and I did not knock his socks off. Do I care? No. Oh my gosh. No, I don't. And so I just remember after that, I was all day like, oh my gosh, am I pregnant? I got to be pregnant. I must be pregnant. And it's like, girl, that is the reason why you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You way too young to be sitting here humping, bumping and grinding. And I just remember my dad was always giving me game, but did the game stick? Of course not. Was I listening? Of course not. Not at all. Was he telling any lies? No. But did I understand? No. And I just like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Like it wasn't giving I'm falling in love. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't giving like I just remember this forever. Like obviously, yeah, I remember, but not in no like I honestly I don't know if I should say that. But I'll say this. Like in a dream world, I wish that I could have had like I want to take your virginity. Here's a note. Here's some flowers. We're going to have like a nice room of bed of flowers and, just some music playing. I don't know. I don't know, but that's what I wanted. And that's what I should have got. This all good. Because your girl a freak. Okay. Just know I know a little thing or two nowadays. Okay. But back then, no. Whew. So fast forward to my next boo, and he also had the girls ready to fight me. I just I don't know what it was, and it's so crazy because like if you knew me then, like I was not a person who was over here really trying to beef with people. Like I don't even want to beef with you. I'm also not now. Now I'm a good talker though. Like now, I could rah hoopla, talk the shit, bitch. It's up, whatever. Like as far as like the yapping, but back then, like I didn't know how to yap. Like I didn't know how to yap, and then I've never been in a fight before, so I also was like, I can't yap because I don't know if I can even fight. And if I yap and can't fight and get my ass whooped, I'm gonna be so mad that I was yapping. So I just refrained from yapping. So then things just got out of hand. Like things really got out of hand with me and this girl. And it was all over my boo or whatever. Or our boo. You know what I'm saying? We was over there on some Usher and R. Kelly the same guy type shit. But whatever. So, she was like, we need to meet up at the park. Mind you, it's the summertime. I mean, talk about midsummer, beginning of June. Meet up at the park, blah blah blah. It's my first fight. So I'm like, shit, all right. I'm with my friend at the time, and she's like, oh my god, like we gotta get some Vaseline. So we put some Vaseline all over my face, all over my face. I'm talking about I was ready. I had a scarf on, and then I had on some booty shorts and a tank top for sure. Like, dang, I think they're called Sophie shorts, like the cheer shorts, Sophie shorts, yes. So some cheer shorts, really, and I mean greased up, like I was ready to box. Okay, so we get in the car. You know who's driving me? My boo. He driving me to go beat this bitch up. Let me not call her a bitch because me and Shorty cool. Uh, you are not a bitch if you are listening and you know who I'm talking about. Anywho, but so me and the girl, we meet up at the park or whatever, and we fight. And granted, I mean, I ain't gonna say I lost because I didn't, but I will say that she did get like the final ending of the fight because she spit on me, which is crazy. I mean, crazy thing to think about, crazy thing to think like I'm cool with her because I am, but I also don't like. It's really not that. It could be serious for some people, but it ain't that serious for me because the man nowhere around, nowhere to be found. Don't want nothing to do with us. I tell you that. Did he spin the block though? Of course he did. I feel like I get to spin the blockers. They be quick to be done with me, but then they love to spin the block, right? Um, yeah, so from that point, I definitely learned like these men be trifling, like they kind of like this kind of stuff. So then we have my next boyfriend. And he was cool. He was just weird. But I do feel like it that was the first time where I felt like in a relationship that sex made sense, that I knew what I was doing, he kind of knew what he was doing. It was focused on making the other person feel good. So I feel like that was the experience that I got from there. But our relationship ended because at the end of the day, I was like starting to blossom into the baddie that I am. So, people was on my bumper and I wanted to get bumped. Okay? I wanted to explore my options. Okay? I was not closed off. Okay? So, I had to end that, and I just remember breaking up with him when I was out of town looking at colleges. And I was just like, yeah, it's over. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Boom. And I just like blocked him. He was like, for real? And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm okay. I feel bad though. Hold on. I don't feel bad. I don't know why I'm lying, because I don't feel bad about breaking up with him. But I am slightly concerned, not today, but maybe a couple years like before me and Brandon got together. But there were messages I would get from him on Instagram, and they were very like random and like sporadic, and it's giving like you might be schizophrenic or you might be manic or like one of those things, because it didn't make sense. And I know from experience what kind of like what it looks like. So I'm really hoping he's okay and that's not the case. Yeah. So then, child, this is when things get life. The dating experience just gets crazier, right? At this point. So now I am like first year college, right? So this is my ex when I was starting in college. And I just want to say that I do not condone the behaviors that I am going to tell you that I did. I also want to preface that none of this shit was cool. I apologize in advance to anyone who was hurt in this situation. I'm not laughing, but it's just, I am laughing, but not in the sense of like I'm not sincere about it. It's just like crazy to think that I thought this was okay. Because it wasn't. But anywho, so all right. So my ex during college, the beginning of college, I originally was his side chick. So I was his side chick for the whole, like a long time. Yeah, it had to be not a long time, only for like a couple of months. But, and he had a long term girlfriend. I'm talking about long term girlfriend. And I just, I thought I was hot shit. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought I was hot shit. I feel like this was during the time too where it was like, oh, we could take your man. Like it was definitely like those times, and that's not good. Like that's not good at all. But yeah. So anywho, so the craziest things that we would do is just mind blowing. Does it surprise me? No, because I know people close to me who have done crazy things as well. All of them are crazy. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm less crazier than you or less trifling, because all this type of shit is trifling. It's all get up. Um, but like obviously, like I would be over their apartment or whatever. And then I think one of the wildest things was one time we went to go take her car to get washed. And I mean, granted, like at least we got her car washed, but like for what? Like, and then like I would be damned if you just got a bitch rolling in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just crazy, crazy, crazy. I also don't even understand how I even trust or trusted men. Um, but I also feel like you have to trust people, especially people who you believe would not hurt you. Anywho, yeah. So, um, but I will say, without saying too much, is during that time in my life, I thought that being a side chick was okay because it was something that I seen regularly growing up. And in my mind, I had this idea that men prefer their side chick over like their main. That was like the mentality. It was like the main is just whatever, but they really love their side chick. Like I don't, granted, but again, this is something that I seen, and I'm not gonna go into too much details. Any really preferably, um, but just know like that was the root of most of that. But what I will say, what I learned in reality, like that's not true. Men who cheat on their significant others, that and develop, well, you know, we can call it for what it is, like have an affair, you know, where you have these romantic feelings for someone else that is not in a relationship, like that is not in your committed relationship. That is just a selfish man or woman though. So I'm going to act like this is just men that do this. But in this scenario, we are obviously talking about a man. But this is just a selfish man. Like one who doesn't have self-control, but also doesn't have the accountability to just say like the relationship that they're in is really not the relationship that is meant for them. Meaning maybe you are somebody who just needs to be in a poly relationship or whatever that's called. I think it's poly. Like for example, like take Neo. Like Neo was married to that lady, had a beautiful wedding, has kids with her and everything, and he just couldn't stop messing with the hoes. Granted, these lovely ladies are not hoes to him now because they're his girlfriends, but you know, to the wife who's married to him, you can't stop messing around with these hoes. And so that is going to be the perspective or the narrative when you're telling, let alone that man and went to some vows. But, at the end of the day, that's just all it is. Like, I think, or don't be in a relationship at all, right? We got to also say, if you can't do that, just don't be in a relationship. You don't have to check a box. I feel like sometimes people are just checking boxes. And it's okay. Cause why ruin somebody's life, or you ain't even ruin necessarily their life. You can. But I'm not gonna take it that far and say the person's life is ruined. But you taking time away from them, and you shouldn't have to, when you could just be a decent human being and acknowledge what you want in life, and then just do what you want to do instead of dragging people along with you, right? So, anywho, fast forward to the fact of I somehow obviously get promoted to girlfriend after they break up. And understand, I was not trying to be the girlfriend. Like, I was cool being where I was at. But obviously, granted, they gotta leech on to somebody else. And I was here. So he's like, oh, what is that? Oh, it's that saying, you've been promoted to my favorite employee or whatever it is. That was me. Like, I had gotten upgraded. And did I ask for the promotion? No. Did I want the promotion? No. And let me tell you, what came with that promotion was straight hell. Okay? It was, oh my gosh. Like, when I tell you, for like 2 years straight, I never wanted to open my DMs, because DMs didn't, like, on Instagram, didn't look like how they look today. It was very like, I don't like, or because like the requests were like hidden, like you had to go, and it was just like, if I open my DMs, it's gonna be another bitch in there sending me some crazy shit. And I used to see crazy things, like one girl showed me him like getting dressed after they done got done fucking, and then another girl, she gonna send me like all the pictures and videos that they took together while they was together, I guess. And she gonna write, here goes your man back, or hey, or you can have your man back because he wants you so bad. First of all, ma'am, I never knew he left. When did he leave? Please let me know. Second of all, thank you, I guess. Uh, Thank you for dropping them off. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, nah, it was crazy. And I think, like, first of all, and also, like, that motherfucker is the one who gave me an STD, my first STD ever. Like, crazy, because he had the audacity to be like, are you sure? All these damn women messaging me, sir, you should know that dick is dirty now. Come on now. Take your ass to the motherfucking doctor. Stop fucking playing with me. Ugh. Anywho, next. Sorry. Before we go on to next, I just want to say that should also let you know, which I've talked about in another episode, is that you got to be careful at all times. Because how am I in a relationship getting STDs? Why? How? Like, at least if you was cheating, like, please wear a condom. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. But anywho, but I also think, like, at the same time, let's not forget that I started out as a side chick. So then again, maybe that was the karma that I needed, right? Exactly. I ain't even gonna hold you. Now we can move on to the next one. So my next boyfriend, he was nice. We definitely had fun together. I ain't gonna lie, at one point I definitely thought he was the one, but then I realized later, and not really, like, slightly in it, but later, that I loved him more than I loved myself. And I was definitely like losing myself being with him, because he just, like, his love was very conditional. And he was strict at that time, where it was like, oh, you can't drink, because he didn't like people drinking. It's like, if I did drink, it would just like piss him off. And I had to sneak and drink. Like, there were times where, like, I'm in college, so if my friends want to hang out, yeah, girl, bring the wine. We're asleep though. were asleep. Like, see, I don't want to feel like I have to lie. Like, that was one thing. Um, but also, one of the biggest things is like he was very insecure, and I will never forget when he had found out that somebody that I had slept with, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like we were friends in third grade or some bullshit, like second grade or something." And I'm just like, "Okay, wow. So you guys haven't talked since second grade? Yikes! Like, grow up. Like, is that your homie or not? Okay, because it is what it is. And it was just so long ago, and it was just and that's why, man, Anywho, but anywho, but I will say that motherfucker tried to spin the block, and I'm talking about spin the block in the black trucks. Okay, I'm talking about Escalades, helicopters, everything. I'm talking about spin the block hard. Once he knew I was happy and in love, you know what? It was like a cherry on top for me, cause man, I loved. I love, like, to me it was like I got the last laugh. Like, you know what? You had me in the first half, but the game doesn't end till the fourth quarter, baby, and I won, bitch. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, in all reality though, yeah, definitely tried to spin the block, and I was absolutely shocked. Um, and then my last boyfriend before my hubby, that was my Jamaican nigga. And honestly, I should have known that I shouldn't have been messing with this man. I met him on an app. I feel like I met him on Bumble. I don't think I used any other apps at the time. And he had an Android. I'll never forget my friend Leah was like, he got an Android. You shouldn't talk to him. And I was like, girl, we can't be shallow. We're trying to find our husbands. Blah, blah, blah. She was right. She wasn't lying. That nigga is not my husband. And I will never forget, he took me to a fancy dinner and he was like, oh, you got to wear something nice. Get a nice dress. Do your hair up. Blah, blah, blah. So I did. You know, I got me a nice little dress on. And then the next week, his car was repoed. I'm talking about gone. Then we go out to eat, and he's like, "Oh, I what was it? I was like, oh, like the tip. We just tip him like $5 or 10 or something like that." He was like, "I need this $5." He was like, "I need that money." I was like, "All right." You know, then one time I drove him to go take his real estate exam for the third time. I didn't drive him for the third time, but it was his third time. That motherfucker failed. I was so irritated. I was like, "You're at this point." I'm like, "Bro, you gotta be dumb." Granted, I never taken it before, but I've definitely opened up a real estate book, and I'm like, "Yeah, give me some flashcards. I'll be good." Will I be a good realtor? I have no idea, but I know I could pass the fucking test. Then I also should have known to not mess with him when he told me he couldn't fucking swim. You 6 damn near 4, and you mean to tell me that your big ass can't swim? You are not to be trusted. Ladies, never be with somebody who can't swim. I'm just playing. But if they can't swim, you better get them into a guppies class, okay? Get them into like water wings or something and get some swimming lessons. Because ain't no way you grown, big, and tall and can't fucking swim. Oh my gosh, this man almost drowned at the lake. I had to jump in and save him. That's the second nigga I had to jump and save. Because actually, the boyfriend above him, I forgot I had to save that nigga in tow. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy world. Y'all see what I was going through? And then last but not least, my hubby. My hubby. Oh my gosh. Let's just say he was the first person who just let me be exactly who I am. I felt like there was nothing that I had to hide from him. Like I could literally just be myself. And I think that was like what made our relationship so great, because when we met, I had no idea who he was. He knew who I was though. um and yes, he just like pushes me to be like the best person that I could be. I think also, I don't think, but he also communicates very well actually. Probably too well. And I think too, we're just like the same person. So it's so great to feel like you're just like kind of like with your twin or like twin flame kind of vibe. And we're always on the same page. Like we always like, I was like, I'm kind of feeling blah, blah, blah. He was like, dang, that's crazy. I was feeling that too. And I'd be like, no way, bestie. Even though I'm sure he thinks I am so annoying, but I'm so annoying enough that he bought me this ring, y'all. And he gave me his last name. Okay. So it was just meant to be like there, yes. Like it was just I just love him. I love him so much. Like I always tell him, I'm like, I just wish I could be in your skin. Like I understand that he's not for everybody, cause he not. He's just for me, right? But I want to be in his skin. I want to be in his shirts. Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like obviously, like, granted, we don't really be having rough times. I mean, in the beginning, we had some, and not even often, but definitely some shit that I was like, fuck this shit. But it was like, no, I can't be without you. I can't be without you, baby. Yeah. Oh, is it? Hold on, I need to get. Is this my sign to get my jingle? Jingle. Let me see. I got that Sony camera. Sony, baby. Get your camera from Sony. Capture every moment with your Sony. How I do, y'all? How'd I do? Anywho, all right. So the key things that I learned through my dating history is, one, explore your options, girls. One another thing is don't overshare. Don't ever overshare. Any man that tells you that, oh, I don't care about what you did in your past, who gives a fuck? Don't tell him shit. Cause they really do care. Like I feel like the conversation has to be like he gotta have told you something crazy before you over here telling, and then you can't even get too crazy with what you finna say. Okay, you gotta keep it real light. It's just because they don't care about the man before them. That's all I will say. Like you can keep like the meat and potatoes of the story, but like leave the little bits of details. Like he don't want to know that you were bent over into a pretzel or a chicken. Was that a chicken wing? Whatever. What is that called? I think it's a chicken wing when they get whatever position it is. Because if you ain't did it with him, now he mad. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, Make sure you explore your sexual life, like understand your body so that you know what you like. But also, I'm very big on knowing, like listening to your body, because our bodies know like when things are not right for us, and it reacts. So for example, like, are you getting STDs? Is your pH off? Because I feel like one thing that I noticed too was like, once me and Brandon started having unprotected sex, I did not experience BV like I used to. Um which was really crazy. Like I'm not crazy, but it let me know like our body chemistry works well together. Also, make sure to give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up going throughout this dating experiences. Be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't If you feel like you can't be yourself, or you gotta hide little things about you, or you gotta, I mean, I get it. Like, you do have to um compromise, but compromising and like giving up something that is absolutely you is not the fucking same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I think at the end of the day, like, you will start to be a better person with that person. So for example, like, I feel like when me and Brandon first got together, I drank a lot. I very much drank often, not every day. But I drink on the weekends, always smoke hookah all the time. But then it's like he don't really drink all the time. But it just becomes like whatever. But it's like if we on a binge, we on a binge together. You know what I'm saying? You drink, I drink, we all drinking. But it's not in the sense of like, oh, he doesn't drink on the weekends, I'm not gonna drink. It was just like He ain't drinking. Don't get me wrong. There were times where I was still drinking. You could be there sober, buddy. Do I care? No. But, I'm not doing it for him. I'm doing it for myself if that's the case. Remember to always put yourself first, not in a selfish way, but make sure that like you're still focusing on the things that you want before you focus on what they want. And then lastly, communicate, communicate, communicate. Communication is key, regardless of how something may sound or come off. All right. And then so that's it. But I did come across this video and I just want to kind of add this in here. Um, a man will always show you or tell you exactly who they are, and you have to believe them the first time. So what it was is I came across this video clip from a podcast. I don't know I don't know like the lady's name, but I kind of briefly. No, I know she's a housewife and I know her daughter has a baby with the rapper. And so he told her before like the baby was born that he doesn't change diapers. And she was like, and he was like, did you think it was going to change when he got here? And she looked so sad and devastated. And she was like, well, yeah, I did. And he was like, well, no. And he was like, well, why, why do you think it's so important that I change a diaper? And she was like, well, one day you're going to need your ass wiped and you didn't do it for him. So who's going to wipe your ass? And he named, I don't know if it's his, I want to say it's his son because I think Callie is the daughter. He was like, oh, I got Harlem. Like, and I'm just like, and her mom was laughing and giggling. And at the end of the day, like, granted, yeah, he already told you, he told you straight up, and I think too, it's like, it sucks because I know she's younger than him and he already knows who he is. So he was serious when he said what he said. And Shorty should have listened. But anywho, that was something that like I saw that I wanted to like talk about with this. But anywho, we're gonna move into the Tea Talks hotline. And we do have a question from a listener today. And it says, what do you love most about yourself? And how would you teach your future children to love this exact thing about themselves? So, something that I've grown to love about myself is my confidence and my perseverance. And I would teach my kids that they can do anything, and I mean anything. I will always remind them of how far they've came from something so that they can visually see the change. So I want them to know that like small wins are what help them reach their big goals. Um because the biggest thing is you don't fail until you quit. So that's something that I probably will very, very much instill into my kids. And yeah, so there's that. And then moving on to the would you rather segment. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is a good one. It's not good. It's crazy. Um would you rather get caught by your boss masturbating in your favorite superhero suit or screwing his or her spouse? Some crazy crazy stuff. Um First of all, I'm gonna have to be caught masturbating because I'm not cheating on my husband. Who's the setup? I seen where this is coming from. They tried to get me, huh? This book tried to catch me. And you know what suit I'm wearing? I'm wearing a Catwoman leather suit, baby. Yes, sir. Let me know what you would do. On the book it says in Michigan, it's against the law to put a skunk in your boss's desk, but it's not against the law for that boss to catch you beating off as the Incredible Hulk. So that's good. Teenage comic book writers Jerry Siegel and Joseph Shuster got screwed when they sold all their rights to superhero character Superman for $130. So that's not good. Dang, they sold Superman for $130 for $130. That's how much Superman was going for, and he like a millionaire, billionaire these days. Anywho, let me know what you doing. Is you masturbating at and getting caught by your boss, or are you getting caught with a significant other? That's crazy. Anywho, all right. So you know I love to close with a weekly quote. And because we are in Black History Month, baby, we gonna go with a quote from our lovely Lady Carrie Washington. And it says, I realize that I don't have to be perfect. All I have to do is show up and enjoy the messy, imperfect, and beautiful journey of my life. And I know that's right. This is me clocking it. All right. So before we wrap everything up, I just want to thank you for tuning into the Tea Talks. Make sure you follow the podcast on all platforms at the Tea Talks Pod. And remember, you can catch the visuals on YouTube as well every Thursday. If you want your questions, stories, or comments featured, head to the thetalks.com and submit them now. Everything is anonymous. And as always, I love you all. Stay safe, stay honest, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.